To say that I'm joined by Jona Efoloko. Jonah, thanks so much for joining us today at East London Sport.
Thank you very much for having me.
Jonah, an amazing year last year. In the 4 by 100 meters Team GB squad, you won bronze at the World Champs, a gold at the Europeans, and a gold at the amazing Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Just to start off, just take us through that year. Are you still pinching yourself to say, did that all really happen, or was that just the reward for all the hard work and you and the squad put in?
Definitely I'd say yeah, the reward for the hard work the squad put in. We're very confident with our relay, Team GB. We really trust in ourselves, and it's something that we practice a lot. We were out in America for a training camp, so we were all prepared. We all knew that we had a great chance of getting the medals at these three championships. Three championships, three opportunities to get medals, and we were all very confident. It was a great year. Very busy, actually, very busy with three and one. It can be
Yeah.
quite consuming and tiring, but actually to say that I came away with a medal in each one, not many people can say that. So very happy year, very successful year. Yeah.
So I've got to ask you the question, which lots of fans will ask. What do you do with the medals? I mean, do you share them with family? I mean, I don't want to give any trade secrets about where they're kept, but I just guess are they just treasured things that you look at from time to time and say, okay, that's what I did last year, but let's move on to next year.
Definitely, definitely first family. They love to see it, taking the pictures, showing it off. I think the family cherish the medal as much as I do, so it's definitely just sharing that moment with them. And yeah, no, I'll definitely say it's a great reminder. As you said, you can definitely look at the medals and see what you've achieved, and it can be that extra motivation because I guess you can never have too many medals. It would be great to add to when I look at my medal collection now, it'd be great to add a few more gold to it. So I think that's one thing that does keep me going. Yeah.
There seemed to be a great spirit amongst the squad. I mean, I've been lucky enough to meet Harry before, Harry Eakins-Ariti, but the other members of the squad, you all did your bit. Just take us through some of the things you do as a team in terms of bonding and getting on together and training hard together. There just seems to be a really good spirit amongst the squad at the moment.
No, 100%. I think, with relays, it's all about teamwork. It's all about trusting the next person because actually all the changeovers they're blind. You don't actually look back, but you will trust that that person will come to you. You will trust that the person putting their hand out will put it out at the right time. You will trust that you'll be able to hear their call. So it's all to do with trust, it's all to do with practice, and that's something that we do quite a lot. And like you said, it's outside of practice. Great British Athletics, we did a fantastic job with looking after us the relay teams. We did many bonding camps together where we didn't actually train, but we actually just spent time together, played some games, doing all these different things, getting to know each other. And even at the championships, we were all like quite a tight unit. We spend a lot of time together. We'll go down to eat together, breakfast, lunch, dinner, spend some quality time together just to get to know each other. Because I think, as it says, it's all about teamwork, knowing the next person, trusting the next person, and that comes through like knowing each other. So we have
Yeah.
fun. We have fun even at practice. Of course, when it's time to work, it's time to work. But we all listen to music. We all like to dance. So it's all these different things. And yes, it's a great squad. Varies in experience. People that have been there for a while, people that have been there. For example, myself and Jeremiah Azu, we just joined recently, so they looked after us really, really well. So it's a great group of boys. Yeah.
We had a visitor to East London Sport recently, the boxer. I know you follow lots of other sports, Hamza Shiraz, who's a middleweight, and I asked him the question, what goes through his mind just before he gets in the ring? Is he distracted by the crowd? What's his focus? And he just said he blocks everything out from that ring walk, and then it's just the job in hand. When you're about to take your position in the blocks, Jonah, what's going through your mind? Or is it literally just, I need to get this job done to the best of my ability?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Hamza. Is it Hamza? Sorry.
Hamza, yeah.
Hamza, yeah, I definitely agree with him. Before that, of course, the nerves come in, when you're warming up, you're thinking about it. But honestly, once you step out on that track and you set your blocks up and you're lining up, it's literally just, as he says, everything just zones out, and it's all about doing your bit for the team, getting your job done. And no, I definitely agree with that. It's all about the job, getting the job done. That's the only thing that matters at that moment in time. Yeah.
And can you hear the crowd? Because let's just take you back to the Commonwealth Games, because the support in Birmingham was absolutely superb, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
I can see you smiling now.
Yeah.
But is that something you were aware of, or is it just you're focused on the job? Or does the crowd help lift you?
No, no, 100% the crowd helps lift you. Birmingham, I said atmosphere wise is probably the best competition I've competed at because it was packed, it was sold out, but they were all on your side and you definitely feel the crowd. I always say that, in football they say that the home crowd is like the 12th man, and I definitely felt that on that day. The goosebumps you got from when they called your name, Great England, and everybody cheered. That was
Yeah.
really, really amazing. So like you definitely hear that. But I'd say when you're running, yeah, you block it all out. When you're
Okay.
running, it's literally just streamlined. But it's like as soon as you pass the button and your job is done, then it's like everything else comes back in and you start to hear the crowd again and you start to cheer your person on. But yeah, when you're running, it's like a sense of like just tunnel vision, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Obviously, as I say, an amazing year last year, but you won. You talked about golds. You won golds as a runner in your at youth games and various other things. And the gold in Finland, I'm sure, is a great memory for you. Um, Take us to the other side of it. What do you do to relax? Because your training schedule must be very intense for you and the whole squad, and you have your training camps that you've mentioned. What do you do to actually switch off? I mean, is there a meal that you yearn for that you can't have whilst you're training that you say, right, it's off season, I can now eat that. So, take us through a little bit of that.
Well, my go-to meal, I love pizza. I like pizza. So Domino's is one of my favorite cheat meals. I like a good Domino's. But what do I like to do to chill? My biggest thing is spending time with family and friends. Definitely like,
Yeah.
yeah, family and friends. Going out, getting food. I also like different activities. Outside of sport, I still like different activities. So me and my friends, we go bowling a lot. So I
Okay.
like bowling. I like going to the
Yeah.
arcade, all these different things. I think that's like my way of like relaxing. Especially being around your friends and stuff. It's like you're separate from the athlete. You're just the person. So I think
Yeah.
that's what I really love about like being my friends. Sometimes, alone time, just Netflix, play my PlayStation. That's how I just like to relax. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
As you said, we're training all the time, but sometimes you need that. You need to step back a bit sometimes. Yeah.
So let's just go back to the start of your career. Who or what inspired you to get into athletics? Because there's normally a point, isn't there, for most people to say that's why I want to be an athlete, or
Mm.
that's the athlete I want to be like.
Yeah. So, well, funny enough, so I've always been into sport. I'll be honest, I've always been into sport. My family were quite like a sporty family, so all of us were really good at sport growing up. And I always knew I was quick, but growing up, I played football. It's kind of like a funny
Right.
story how so growing up, I played football, and I used to play football for a team, but my team we weren't really the best team, I'll be honest. So we'd lose quite a lot. And I remember my mum wasn't best pleased with the fact that we kept losing and like
Okay.
because like we had to pay like subs and stuff, so she wasn't best pleased with that. So I remember she said, "Oh, like I think she was like, oh, I think we had one game coming up, and she was like, I think if you guys lose this game, then I don't really see the point of you playing with this team anymore." I was like, what? So okay, I understand. And we lost, so I actually stopped playing. And then, funny enough, at that moment in time, we had a so I was in year seven, so we were picking like the sport team, and that week it was for athletics. So I got picked in the athletics team, and we had a competition, and we had a competition in Manchester, and then I won the 200 meters, and then one of the guys came up to me and was like, "Oh, like you're really really quick. Do you mind coming over to just train with us?" And because I'd stopped playing football, I had a lot more free time
Yeah.
in my hand, and the place I trained was like 10 minutes away from my house. So
Oh,
I just said, you know what, let me just try it out. And I'll be honest, at first it was more like social. I like it because you'd meet new people, you'd meet kids, and you just run about. But I think so. The year I started was the Olympics, 2012. So I think that's actually what really inspired me watching the London Games, watching Usain Bolt, watching the crowd, Jess Ennis, all these different people, that really, really inspired me because it was like, oh wow, this could be something that I could actually do in the future. So I think that's probably what inspired me in the London 2012. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, and that's a great story to hear because it was such the catalyst for so many
Yeah.
sports careers, wasn't it? Which
Yeah.
is great to hear. It all adds to the legacy. Let's then jump to your time at East London Sport University of East London. I believe you studied business marketing,
Yes, I did. Yeah.
and just give us an overview of your time at the University of East London. And at the end of that, just what advice would you give students leaving here in terms of searching for their careers and reaching their dreams, as it were?
Yeah, no, it was no, it was a good time. It was a good time at university. Unfortunately, I was part of the COVID year, so I technically only had 1 year of like normal
Right.
uni, because then COVID hit, and then COVID hit, so like my third and second year were pretty much online. So like that was a shame. But from the time I had here, it was really good, really, really supportive. You know, academic is always as important because sport doesn't last forever. So you always need something that, not like a backup plan, but something that can help you. They can go
Right.
hand in hand. I definitely say again for people who, go in afterwards, is just believe in yourself. Like you're definitely like good enough, like you know what you're doing. So just definitely believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Keep trying. That's the beauty of thing. Just keep trying. Try your best in everything that you do. And as long as that you can say you tried your best, then it's okay. And that's one advice I definitely give people, is just believe in yourself and just keep trying.
That's great. I mean, the university's in its 125th anniversary year later on this
So
year, so it was a very special time for a lot of people, including the students. But it's great to hear that you enjoyed it here, Jonah. So let's look ahead to 2023. What are the aims and aspirations for yourself and the 4x100 Team GB squad?
so there's the World Championships this year in Budapest, Hungary. That's definitely the aim for myself. Definitely, of course, relay, but for me, the aim has always been to also get the individual spot in either the 100 or 200.
Yeah.
So that for me is the main aim into this summer. Cementing my spot in the senior team.
Um, in Hungary, I saw that they're building a brand new stadium
Oh
for
wow.
for the yeah, for the event, which is pretty special. And obviously, Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games redeveloped an existing stadium.
Mm.
We talked about the crowd, and obviously Hungary. There'll be some Team GB fans out there because Team GB fans seem to follow athletics all around the
Yeah,
world.
it's true. It's true.
Just going back to that point about the difference that they can make. If you know there's several hundred Team GB fans in the stadium, does that make you and the rest of the team and you as an individual runner as well feel that bit more special? Because they've made their own sacrifices, haven't they, to be there. So what does it mean to you when you're away from home and you can hear the Team GB fans?
No, it means a lot. It means a lot. Support is a big thing. They may not know it, but it definitely means a lot to hear people cheer your name, to hear people support you. It gives you that extra push because it's that nice reminder of that, oh, like somebody believes in you, somebody
Yeah,
believes in you, somebody wants you to do well. So you sort of also want to do well for them. So it
yeah.
gives you that extra boost. So honestly, the more fans, the merrier. Just, yeah, it really helps a lot.
Oh, it's great to hear. And really, sort of finally, give us another insight, Jonah, into that sort of team bonding. We have talked about it, and obviously teams are so important. We've actually just had the Bucks Wednesday here, where all the various East London sport teams get together: volleyball, basketball,
Mm-hmm.
tennis, football, and they play home and away. Um, what advice would you give those teams that you've taken from that team environment? And you said quite rightly, you're also looking to um, develop your targets for as an individual next year in the 100 and 200, and all the very best for that. But what advice would you give those teams in terms of making the best of yourself as a team, irrespective of the sport they take part in?
I think the biggest thing with team is just trusting in the person next to you.
Yeah,
Um, because you're going out there together. You're going out
yeah,
there together. You're going out there to, I like to say, you're going out to like war together in a way. So you have to trust the person next to you, and you have to trust that they will have your back.
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing with sport. You shouldn't think that you can do it alone because you can't. you can't. Like you need that person as much as they need you. And I think the moment you realize that, the moment it's like you can truly become like one. In a relay team, that's what you think about. I can't run every leg by myself. I need the second leg, third, fourth leg runner,
Yeah,
and I need to trust them. And I think that's the biggest thing. The moment you really trust the person next to you, the moment you trust that they will give you all, and then I think you will also give you all, and that just boosts the team to another level. So yeah, the biggest thing is trust, communication are the two biggest things.
yeah. And obviously, the sport that you're doing in the relay is in itself quite complicated with the handovers and
Yeah.
and everything else. Where do you prefer to run, as anchor or second, or you have run anchor before, haven't you?
Yeah. So throughout my time doing relays, like from young to now, I've actually run every leg. My favorite legs are, so I like the bends. I'm a more
Okay.
200 meter runner, so I like
Yeah.
running the bends. So first, I think my favorite is third. Third is my favorite leg to run.
Okay.
Yeah. But one of my aims has always been to be able to run each leg, to be able to be versatile, to be put on first, second, third, fourth, wherever I'm needed. I ran last year. I ran first at Worlds and Commonwealths, and then I ran third at European. So I've ticked 2 out of 4. I got another T to try and practice. So, but yeah, my favorite is third, but the aim has always been to be able to run all 4. Yeah.
Okay. And final question, which team do you enjoy competing against the most? I mean, traditionally, Team USA, I'm sure, right up there. But I'm presuming they are one of them. But give me your top 3 teams that you really love to compete against.
Oh, top 3. Definitely Team USA. I'd love to compete. I like competing against the best in
Yeah.
the world. Team USA. I'd say Canada as well, since they came bronze. They got the gold at Worlds. I also like competing against the French team because their energy is really nice. So like
Okay.
they got the silver at the Europeans, and afterwards, I remember when we were getting our medals, we were all like sort of like dancing together afterwards. So that was like fun. So it's like
Brilliant.
good vibes for the French team always. Yeah, I love the energy. So it's fun with them. Yeah,
Great. Jonah, thanks so much for your time. Really, really enjoyed talking to you. And I'm sure on behalf of everybody at East London Sport and the University of East London, all the very best for 2023.
thank you very much.